Dog fans, it's time to hunker down. He's Jake Trash Panda Skinner. I'm Jeremy the Impact York. This is Impact Media's weekly drive right through the hedges into the world of everything UGA Bulldogs football. We've got tons to get into, but as always, how are you, Jake?
Doing good. Need some sleep. That's all I can say. A little tired.
Yeah, I'm with you on that one. I've learned that I don't really sleep through the night. I guess I went back to my infancy stage or something like that. I just take like sometimes 1, 2, 3 hour naps
Yeah.
throughout the night, and then my alarm goes off and I go to work.
Taking after your cats.
I think so. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe I'm not a
Yeah.
cat person. I'm turning into a cat.
That's exactly what it is. Just watch out for those hairballs.
I trust me. There's plenty of those with cats in the house. Um, like I said, tons to get into. The thing that I always forget to do on this show is if you, the viewer or the listener, because a lot of people have said they will turn on our show and they will put it in the seat beside them while they're driving or hook it into their car audio, which we appreciate. However, you consume this show. And if you want to know ways to consume this show, you can email us 3endzone at gmail.com. That is the number 3endzone at gmail.com. 98% of the time it's me responding. The other 2% of the time it's because your email didn't need to be responded to. Just, maybe you just said you guys suck or you guys are really good. There wasn't a question
Uh,
attached. And Jake will tell you I do forward UGA related ones, the hunker down ones to him, so he sees them as well.
yep.
You can find us on Facebook by searching for Impact Media or Hunker Down. You can find us on Twitter at Team Impact Media. Just scroll down the appropriate show, click on it. There is no cap. Watch it, listen to it, consume it as many times as you want. Um, if you want to follow me on Twitter, Triller, TikTok, and Instagram, and I promise at some point I will actually put stuff on TikTok. I think it's been like 6 months since I've done that. You can do so at the Impact 99. And Jake, how can they find you on social media?
The, I don't even remember half of mine at this point, and I don't ever. All I do is I look, find stuff to write about, and I go. I don't even post. So probably better that they follow you.
Hey, there you go. And I'll just forward whatever messages you have straight to
There you
him, and
go.
and I can vouch for this because I think it's been about 8 months that my LinkedIn invitation to you is still pending. So
Probably.
plus it's like 3 years ago's picture. I barely recognize who you were in that picture. But also you can find us on
Who
YouTube
that is?
at impact underscore media underscore. Yeah, it could be somebody. It could be your cousin in that picture. I don't know, but at impact underscore media underscore on um, YouTube. And if there's a place that you regularly consume shows that we are not, please let me know and I'll fix that. We can easily get on any other platform. Just let us know. Now, to the actual fun part of tonight's show. Gosh, those LSU Tigers. No kidding. UGA finally faces the best team they faced all year. Kentucky
And
was supposed to
they.
be that team. Oh man, they're finally going to
Oh.
face a good defense. They're finally going to face a really good team.
Hmm.
What are UGA going to do? You might want to let Kentucky know that there was a ball game on Saturday
Well, I mean, if you listen to Coach Stoops, he said we paid for our players. It's called NIL, bud, but whatever.
and scholarships.
And scholars. But no, Georgia, Graham Coffey said it best. I was reading his stuff earlier. He said, I won't quote it because there's some colorful things, but he basically he said he looked at the scoreboard after the second drive, 14 nothing. He said he looked and he saw stats and it said Beck, 11 for 11, 146 yards, 2 touchdowns. And he said his jaw dropped and said, Robert Michael Bobo, what kind of SHIT are you on? That was the best call game by Bobo. I think
Oh yeah.
I think this the from standpoint, which I don't get it. I don't dive into all the efficiencies like other people do. But what I was reading is their numbers like first down, second down, third down, their every little detail that you could measure a game by stats like baseball levels.
Mm-hmm.
Georgia's numbers were better than the TCU game last year, and that was with a better talented roster. And
They
that's the
were,
same team that barely won 16-6 last year against Kentucky.
yeah. I was about to say their numbers this game against Kentucky were almost as high as they were when they destroyed Michigan a couple years ago.
Yeah, Georgia, like Carson Beck, by the end of the first half, he had over 300 yards passing. Basically, Kirby and Bobo sat down and said, "Listen, we're not the running football team we want to be. That's not who we are anymore. We are a
Hmm.
passing offense." I really think that Georgia was playing a slow game to build confidence the past couple of weeks. I could be wrong, but I watching the game plans, knowing what we've got, I think they wanted to see if Beck would take that next step and grow
Hmm.
up. I think we saw it. We saw the Auburn game. Georgia knew they could rely on him. We saw him try stuff like Ra Thomas because of this. Like we now know Ra is probably his favorite target. Him and
Yeah,
Rosalie Jack Saint, and
pretty much.
other than Brock. I mean, come on, you're going to throw it to Brock, but like we see who his favorites are. We see who's getting the ball the most. Beck's going off. He had 389 yards, 4 touchdowns, and a pick that was just slightly out of just hit the fingertips of Lovett and right in someone's arms. Like other than that one bad throw, that was not a bad play by Beck all night. He made the right plays. He knew what he was doing. He made deep shots, and we were not afraid to throw the deep ball for once. And there were lanes wide open. I mean, you could. There were those lanes were so wide open that the entire state of Georgia wishes Atlanta and I-20 looked at.
Yeah, I've seen shutdowns on major highways that weren't that open.
No, exactly. So that was something wild, good to see. Like Brock had himself a game, 7 catches, 132 yards. Jack Saint 4 for 99, and Rah 5 for 63 with one heck of a toe tapper
Oh
for
man.
that touchdown. Like that, we know who we are now. We're going to throw the ball. You're going to put up with our numbers. We're just going to air the ball out. And on defense, we're just going to smash you in the mouth. And like Georgia's going to now be able to play a game where we're going to get up early, and our defense is just going to could just sit back and wait.
Yep, exactly. I mean, in a way, and I'm not saying that he's following the script because Kirby is very much doing his own thing. This
Hmm.
is kind of what Alabama did a couple years ago with Saban. They just completely changed their identity on offense and just said, "Well, if we can't do that, then let's just do the opposite," and continue to dominate everybody. And like you said, they just said, "Okay, well, we're not the running team we were, as you stated, but we got a guy that can sling it, and he doesn't turn the ball over very often, and we've got,
Hmm.
I don't know, just an absolute Christmas tree of uh, of ornaments here that any of them are open on any given time." I mean, my goodness, one of the about every game I write the note, how is Brock Bowers that open in the third quarter? I don't know
It didn't
why
matter
they
what quarter.
no. I mean, in the third quarter, he is so wide open, it looks like he didn't bathe for a week or something. There's nobody near him. And he's the best player on the field.
So he's like a he is, and someone said he's like a 2 year old. You have to keep two eyes on. You have to get two people on him at all times, and he doesn't stop. He just keeps moving.
You
And
might want
I
to
was
put him on a
like, yeah,
leash.
he's a 2 year old.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like that right there, Georgia knows they've got. This has been the work since Sam Pittman left
Hmm.
in 2019. That's why we went and got who we got. Um, the former Ole Miss coach. I can't think of his name right now. That's why Georgia changed their offensive identity. Like
Hmm.
I've talked
Hmm.
about here, when we're better at gap, I believe. Well, this game we were complete dead 50-50, and we didn't run the ball like normal. Like we only had 31 carries for 173 yards. Our leading rusher had 9 for 54, 6 yards a carry.
Hmm.
Georgia Kirby was like, air it, throw it. Who cares?
Yeah.
Just do it.
If he's open, throw it.
He's he's open, throw it. So we literally forced everyone to think, oh, they're not going to run the ball anymore. Georgia's showing you that they're not your grandpa's three other receivers. They throw the tight end. Most of those catches, Brock lined out as a wideout. He was not an inline tight end on half his catches at least.
Hmm.
And Delp, did you see that touchdown with Delp? He snuck up the middle. I was like, there's no one near him.
Yeah.
It's, I mean, I was just as I'm watching that game, I'm like, this is it. This is the team. We now know who they are. That offense is a team that's going to put points up left and right at will if they want to. We trust our guys. It's going to be fun to watch from here.
Oh yeah. And as we transition to talk about this defense, you probably know the first person I'm going to mention. How about early on in the game establishing that it was just going to be his time? At least he had some really good moments this time. Chaz Chambliss, got to say it, the Carrollton product. he come
I'm going
out
to argue with you.
and he I think he got credit for the tackle for a loss, but he was in the
He got
backfield
tackled.
faster than they snapped the ball. It was crazy.
He had a few good ones, but I'll go against you on that one. I think he needs to be. I know that sounds crazy, but the reason why I say that is the guys behind him are not like the problem with Chaz is something I've mentioned. He's not setting an edge. That touchdown pass in the I think it was the second, third quarter where Kentucky got that easy throw in the corner end
Hmm.
zone. Chaz got sucked in. His eyes were not watching the quarterback. He watched somebody else.
Hmm.
Chaz had a sacker in front of him, and he missed a play. They kept attacking him all night and running out to him. And guess what? They every time they tried to run outside, they might have got tackled not too long after. But there are two drives that they went after Chaz every play, and Chaz blew it. No offense to the guy, but he is definitely a weak link on that defense because he doesn't set an edge like Nolan Smith did. Georgia doesn't have that guy right now that can set the edge because we got Michael Williams, but the problem is you can't run it at Mike. If you run it at Michael, you're going to get hit all game.
Hmm.
You run it the other way, you're going to have better success. So the defensive line was our biggest worry. We got no pressure. Yeah, we got some sacks, but we had to burn some plays on tape that we didn't want to. Like we got no push. Chaz, Brinson, Jefferson. Like it didn't matter who we threw at them. They just they held the line. So
Hmm.
Georgia's got to figure out pass rushing, and I've heard that within the building they're already looking at figuring out ways to do that, and they're not going to. They've got a game plan in place for the Florida game, which we have Vanderbilt bye week in that game. I think you're going to see them come out against Florida looking different on defense and trying to get pressure in different ways because now is the meat of the schedule. Now is when you start finally putting stuff on tape.
Yep. Yep, I agree. And for all the Chaz Chambliss fans out there, especially out in the West Georgia area where we are right now, let's see which, this way. Yeah, if you're looking at it, he is the one who said that. I said the nice things. I just want to,
I'll say, listen, nothing against him. I like him, but
yeah. Oh, no, I agree with what you're saying. Yeah.
he's showing that talent gap. Yeah, if he wants to get praise, and I'm sitting here like I'll harp on any of them. But like
Yeah.
he's got to figure out how to set an edge and get back there. And I wouldn't be, I was glad he stepped up last year. He did good, not great last year, TCU, but other teams he struggled.
Hmm.
He's still struggling, and Georgia is having to put people out there that they really don't want to put there in that role right now, they're wanting to wake up and do it, but maybe Georgia's just holding something back on that one, is trying to see if they can finally force him to get better, but we'll see what happens going forward.
I think the last thing on Chaz, I actually think he's out of position. I think if you moved him further inside, I think he'd be a lot better.
If you moved him inside and you put a little bit more weight on him, because he's what, 250?
Yeah, he's like he
You
might be
see him to
260.
about, yeah, if his body could carry more of a 270-pound frame, I think you move him inside
Yeah.
on a smaller defensive front and let him hold the line.
Hmm.
But again, I mean, he might be out of position. I think he's just one of those guys where he's a tweener between a defensive end and a linebacker,
Right.
which is the perfect for the role he's in when Georgia needs him to use that role. It's just his skill set's not perfect for that because he doesn't have that pass rush move or that move to when he needs to hold it and not because he just gets sucked in with his eyes too much and just looks and goes for the ball when someone else is streaking around behind him and he's like, why did you do that again?
Right. Yeah. I just
It's like, what's the definition of insanity? Doing the same thing with it.
yeah, pretty much. Other than that, yeah, we could talk about Jamon Dumas Johnson, who had a monster day, Kamari Lassiter. Like you said, each and every week we could say completely different people. Because I mean, like
He did
this
good.
week, Tyke Smith made a couple plays, but wasn't quite as many as normal, but he didn't need to because other people stepped up, other people were making plays.
hmm Georgia had everything step up.
Hmm.
Um, it was good to see. Like everybody knew what their job was. They did it. We got they got stuff. They got more stuff to work on, but if that right there is the team that shows up the rest of the year and they can shut down their weaknesses, this team is that kind of team that can keep going. And was Bobo is starting to have fun up there. I think you're about to see Bobo really have some fun.
And
So
shout out Peyton Woodring. Nobody ever talks about this kid, and he went 3 for 3, hit all 3 field goals. Obviously, hit all 6 extra points, but kicked
Hmm.
the 42-yarder. I think kicked a 36 and a 32 were the other two. But he's also showing that if they end up playing a tough, tight game, maybe that's Tennessee, maybe
Hmm.
that's Florida, maybe that's in a national title game. Who knows? But if they get in one of those nail biter games, if you need Peyton Woodring to hit a kick, he's going to.
Oh yeah, he's definitely someone he's finally looking like that number one overall kicker, like he was the most accurate kicker with a leg. Like he's doing what he needs to do.
Mm-hmm.
And hey, I want to give a shout out while we're talking about the special teams to Wilson Berry, the Kentucky punter. He nearly put up as many yards as Beck did. He actually put up as many yards as Beck did in the first half. 302 yards punting.
There you go. I was just going to say, bless Brett Thornton's heart. He only got to kick one time in the game. But wait, does he do kickoffs?
Yeah.
Who does the kickoffs?
No, they got Jared Zirkle. He's the other kicker.
Okay.
He's got a big leg, but the problem is he's more of a line drive kicker, and he gets too many blocked in practice. And he's gotten better, but the problem is he's like a kicker who played at Florida State or Miami back in the 80s and 90s. You don't know if it's going to go left, right, or down the middle. With Woodring, he's had some misses, but I think that's just some freshman nerves. He's settling in, looking like that kicker that used to go through. He's not hitting knucklers like we had there. I forgot who the kicker was that kept hitting knuckleballs, and I kept getting nervous every time I'd see him kick.
Yeah, I can't think of his name, but yeah, he it wasn't Blair Walsh. That's a whole we could do a whole podcast on Blair Walsh.
Oh, Blair was great in college
In
for the
fact, I
most
would love to
part.
have Blair Walsh, whether on this show or just on any show. I've met him before. He is fantastic to talk to in person. Not sure how dog fans have him ranked in their all-time list, but he is
Number
he is
one
a
is it's Rodrigo, and if you're is Rodrigo. Not, this is not a definitive ranking, but yeah, your top five is gonna be Rex Robinson. Um, you got I'm trying to think of I can't Butler. You got Kevin Butler,
oh yeah.
and then you got Billy Bennett, the lefty that we had during the first years of Rick,
Hmm.
and then you've got I think we got the new guy up here now already because and Walsh did good. He wasn't great,
He
but
did.
he Blair Walsh had solid numbers back in the day. Nothing
Oh
against
yeah.
him. I mean, I feel bad, but yeah, he had some key misses pro level.
Yeah. Yeah, he definitely did. Um Not much else really to talk about this game. It was just this is the Georgia team that everybody kind of thought that they could be. And for
Hmm.
some reason, like I said, Kentucky, either it was a bad matchup or, maybe they're not quite as good as we thought they were.
Yeah, I think so like Georgia and Kentucky every year they like to play within a phone booth.
Hmm.
Pound between the hashes. The joke is like between Stoops and Kirby, it's a gentleman's agreement. Let's go back and have an old school smash mouth football team. Every year they play, it's always one of those games where Georgia's going to win, but it's going to be as they would say a slobber knocker.
Yeah.
It's going to be who can hit the other side that got the hardest. Georgia just said, you know what? You want to play that game? Cool. We're going to run the other way. And Georgia ran the other way all
Hmm.
night and just did not let up until the gun went off. Georgia, who they are, what they can do, and if this is a preview for the rest of the year, um, good luck. I mean, we got Vanderbilt in Vandy at Vanderbilt.
Oof. Yeah.
Say one up for them because that's gonna be one I'm just gonna sit back, have a drink, and just watch on easy mode. I
Well,
hope.
and I'll throw this out there too. I don't think Vanderbilt is quite as good this year as the team I'm going to compare them to. But Vandy is kind of always that team that they're just quirky enough. They're a weird matchup because of the type of people they do get. That if you let them hang around in a game, they might find a way to beat you. Kind of the way Georgia Tech has done this year. Some of the wins they've had, you know,
Mm-hmm.
they're just quirky enough that if you let them hang around, they're going to steal a win from you. I don't think Georgia's going to let them hang around too much, but
No,
you can't keep it close against Vandy.
no, you can't. Because Vandy took down Georgia and Kirby's first year.
Hmm.
That one was a tough game. But yeah, I think Vandy will be a good game. It's a 12 o'clock kickoff on CBS. Georgia should probably go. I just go ahead and say it. If what we saw is a preview, go ahead and put me down for 50. Like I'm just going to say it. Like we're 50 to
Yeah,
7, 50 to 6, like some. If that's the kind of game, I think Georgia could drop 50 conceivably on everybody else they play the rest of the year. Because we have Vanderbilt, Florida, Missouri, Ole Miss, Tennessee, and Georgia Tech. They could drop 50 on Ole Miss might be the only game I don't think they drop 50 on. But that just, I mean, not knocking Lane, but I just don't see.
Yeah.
I don't see it right now. Like LSU took, the LSU nearly won. They beat Georgia, played Georgia Tech. Yeah, I mean, they got stopped by Alabama for 4 quarters. Georgia's got that kind of defense, and Georgia's defense is better than Alabama's right now.
Yeah,
And
they
like
are.
Tennessee, looking at theirs, Florida, Tennessee is a one-trick pony team. I'll say it. They like to do one thing, and that's throw to find their guy that they can throw to. They're not bad, but they're beating the teams they should beat. They've not played anybody outside of Florida, and that Florida team is a bad Florida team, and Florida took them to the woodshed.
I was just looking at
So
the upcoming schedule this weekend. Number one, number two, number three, number four, and number 11, that being Alabama, all have noon kickoffs. That's just crazy. That
it's yeah, it's one of those weeks. Let's hope this isn't that yearly freak out week where upset week because those
um,
noon kickoff sleepy games will get you.
I would say of those, I only see one that's probably going to be super close. Alabama, Arkansas kind of could be, but number four, Florida State is hosting Syracuse. Syracuse is 4-2. Florida State's 5-0. Syracuse
Hmm.
go a little closer than you. Ohio State, Purdue, not going to be close. Michigan, Indiana, Georgia, Vanderbilt. I don't. There's at least 20-point win margins in those games.
Yeah, I think
Never
you're
know.
right on team, top 4 or 5 teams this week. So yeah, I don't see anything on that one.
Yeah, I don't.
Yeah, I mean it's there's more of a bit of a boring week on scheduling this week, not outside of your. But how
Yeah.
about the Red River rivalry? I called that. I actually got lucky and called that one all right.
Oh, yeah, you got real lucky because when I thought Texas was going to pull it out, I was like, dang, I got real lucky on this one. Yeah, because I was actually at the Kennesaw game because you texted me. I was listening to like the most of the fourth quarter or most of the third quarter on the way to
Yeah,
Kennesaw, and then I got there and I was like, "Hey, this game is literally right next to my head in the press box right now," and we're just all glued to it. We're just like, "What is going to happen in
yeah,
this game?" And with like 5 minutes to go before Texas went ahead, we had to cut it off because Kennesaw was starting up, and we used that TV for the live feed. But that's
yeah.
that's that's why you put that game
That was
together every year.
something. No, it's good to see that those two will get to continue to play each other um, in the SEC. Can't wait to see that. But definitely think I was Quinn Ewers, he's talented, but I'm starting to think he was not as highly his high rating because he had a perfect 1,000 or what or
Mm-hmm.
so they rated on Rivals to like or 247 to like a 1.0 and everything like that's a 0.99, 0.98, and that's your rankings. He was like a perfect 1.0, the same as Arch Manning, which I honestly think Arch's rating is influenced because of a last name
Yeah,
and who
part of
his
it. Yeah.
family is. He's good. He's not that good, I don't think. No, I could be wrong. I'm happy to be proven wrong, but and this isn't because something I've observed in some of the stuff he's done. He's good. I definitely got rattled and just made some bad play calls. He's got a lot of work to clean up. But so if I'm Manning, I'm ready to say, hey, I'm redshirting this year, and I'm probably not going to start next year because Ewers is still going to be here.
Yeah. And Ewers, if he decided to go to the NFL, I wouldn't necessarily blame him, but if I was him, I would stick around another year. He needs a couple more things kind of polished up, and he's actually a pretty good quarterback. So
Now he is. He's only thrown 3 interceptions on the year, but still, those 3 interceptions, 2 of them come against in the Red River rivalry, and when you need to be better. So,
mm-hmm.
it is what it is. He's not bad. He's throwing the ball good. I'm looking at the stats now. He's thrown for over 300 yards the past 2 games. He looked great against Alabama. His numbers are fairly consistent every game that he
Hmm.
plays. It's those picks. It's just a bad one. So I think he's still got a little ways to go. Maybe I'm overselling it here on how I feel, but yeah, he's only technically a sophomore. He could go pro if he really wanted to, but
Hmm.
I think another year would be beneficial for him. See where and go as a junior and see what happens.
Right.
So.
Quick prediction on we're in the last few minutes here of Hunker Down, but quick quick prediction on UGA. Give one or two things that they need to do to pretty much get this victory.
Um, Come out with the same urgency on offense and on defense. I'd like to see the front four cause a little more havoc and get in the backfield without having to burn your linebackers. Georgia's good at using their linebackers to get back there, but I'd like for they do that and make that quarterback for Vanderbilt have a bad day. This game could be over. Georgia has a 97.6% chance of winning this game.
Yikes.
So yeah, and Vanderbilt's quarterback's got 7 picks so far in 7 games.
Be consistent.
Yeah, I'll go with just create havoc and let him throw it. So,
Yeah.
what you got? Anything you think that they need to do?
I think they need to do what they did this week, except for it'll be a little more advanced. Just continue to throw the ball, continue to kind of tweak your defense. Like you said, we're gonna see something different at Florida than I don't think we've seen all year. But for the most part, just kind of do what you did this week. Just there's a good chance that Gunnar Stockton's going to get to play the fourth quarter.
Agreed. He might even be there in the third.
He might,
So,
because
I'd like to see
Vandergrift
Gunner get
Vandergrift
some
didn't
play.
look bad.
He did not look bad. He definitely did good. I definitely see where he's ready to run a little faster than I would like to see,
Yeah.
but that is his game. I still think at the end of the year, he's a transfer to a school that wants to play that style of football. Bless him. I wish him the best because I think Georgia's giving him some tape to help him
Hmm.
out because he looked good, but I just don't think he feel that he's next level starter for Georgia, especially with the 5-star we got coming in next year. I'm willing to if Georgia goes 3-peat, I'm like, look, 4-peat, let's don't even stress that.
Yeah.
Let's take a year to give the freshman to let him learn how to play football. Let's give
Right.
him 1 year, then let's go win another title or two.
Yep.
But that's me. I'm okay with it one down year if it means a retooling year to reload correctly.
Exactly. Real quickly, got 4 games. We're gonna do that segment we
Sure.
did from last week called "Who You Got." I think that's what we called it, something like that. It seemed to get some good pop as far as the show. Number 8, Oregon is traveling to number 7, Washington. This is a 3:30 ABC kick. Washington 3-point favorite.
Ooh, that game's gonna be fun. You know what? I'm gonna go pick I think Washington's gonna be real good. I think they can come out and play strong. Give me Oregon though, because Dan
Mhm.
Lanning is building a monster out there on the West Coast. I don't know if they'll compete for a title because he is bringing that smash mouth attitude that Georgia has, willing to win how you got to win. So give me Oregon on that one.
All right. Well, I got Washington in that one. I had to do a pick 'em earlier this week or earlier today, and I picked Washington. I think they just got a little bit too much firepower right now. If they played 2 weeks from now, it might be a different game. I got Washington. This is going to be like the Red River rivalry. It's just not quite the
Hmm.
rivalry between the schools, but it's 31-27. It might be 37-34, something like that. There's going to be a lot of points scored in that game.
Yeah, yeah, it'll be a good one. But yeah, that one will be one I'll have my eyes on.
Another one some people might have their eyes on. Number 10 USC is going to face kind of America's school because they're always on NBC. Number 21 Notre Dame. That is in Notre Dame. Notre Dame a a 2.5 point favorite. 7:30 kick on NBC. USC at Notre Dame.
Um, I'll before yeah, let me take USC on this one. I think that lost the Ohio State game and then the Louisville one. That Louisville embarrassed them. I definitely think Ohio State, no, excuse me, Fighting Irish are not as good as everyone thought because of the Hartman's good, but I don't know that he's the player everyone thought he was going to be for them.
Right.
After that really one good week, so yeah, I'll take USC on this one just because they they know how to win in a close game at the end of that last game. But it'll be I think it'll be a blowout on their end, or it's gonna be so close that it's like a triple overtime again.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I think it's going to be close. I want to pick USC because I do think that they're gonna edge them out. But for the sake of the show, I'll take Notre Dame. I have no problem taking Notre Dame there. It'd be a good bounce back. It would kind of slap USC a
Oh
little
yeah.
bit, and it would just even the playing field even more.
hmm
2 minutes left, so we're going to try to get into this quickly. Number 25, Miami at number 12, North Carolina. 7:30 kickoff on ABC.
I'll take North
UNC
Carolina.
minus 3.5.
Yeah, Carolina, because Miami doesn't know how to take a knee.
Yep, I
Yeah,
absolutely
that's all I
agree.
got on that one.
Absolutely agree. Can't top that. Not even going to try. Lastly, number 18 UCLA is going to number 15 Oregon State. Fox has this at 8 p.m. Oregon State is the 4-point favorite.
You know what? I never pick them. Give me Oregon State, baby.
Big
Beavers are
Beaver fan
looking.
over there.
Yeah, they are definitely playing small. It's good to see that Oregon State finally having some good years. I remember all the old NCAA games. I would laugh when I would play that game. I'd always pick Oregon because I'm like, Oregon State, really? No, they're doing good. They're doing
Oh yeah,
real good.
I can't wait for Oregon State later this year. But give me the UCLA Bruins for the sake of the show. And I don't know, I just like what UCLA does.
Yeah,
But
that's Chip Kelly, right? Still,
yeah, I think it's still Chip. Chip's doing a good job out there.
yeah, he's got some stuff figured out. Their only loss was a close game against Utah, so he's getting some. He's starting to get it figured out in as they're leaving the conference. So
Absolutely. But dog fans, that's all we got for you here on Hunker Down. Appreciate all you guys tuning in each and every week. For the Trash Panda, Jake Skinner, I am Jeremy the Impact York. We will see you guys next week. Jake, let's get a go dogs.
go Dogs! Have a good week, everybody.